Monkey Man, the new action movie out on the big screen. Let's talk about it. Okay, so Monkey Man is the newest movie brought to you by Dev Patel, his directorial debut. First movie he's ever directed, and this was a movie that Jordan Peele read the script for and thought this needed to be made. So he really put his name on the line for this movie and pushed it to get it made by Universal. And all I can say is, Jordan Peele, thank you. Thank you so much in seeing the potential in this film. And you know what? We've all got to stand up and we've all got to applaud for your very first movie to put out a movie like this. Hats off to Dev Patel. Hats off to that man. He nailed it. Absolutely nailed this movie. For a first movie, man, is insane. Like, I am so intrigued and so interested to see where Dev Patel's going to go moving forward now. Especially with the stuff behind the camera. Obviously, we knew he was a decent, good actor, but behind the camera, I'm excited. The stories in that, I can't wait to see what he does. Now, Monkey Man was brilliant. It was spectacular. Now, when I watched the trailers for this, I was super hyped. And then we heard the word of mouth of people saying like, oh, this was a really, really good movie. And I was like, okay. The trailers make it seem like it's very much along the lines of a John Wick movie. And it is, to a degree, very similar in ways to John Wick because it is about a person that runs through people while fighting. But the vibe that I really got is, I don't know if you guys have ever played the game Far Cry or anything like that. I'm sure some of you have. It gave me sort of vibes like that. Like, obviously, this isn't to do with, like, guns and that, where you do in Far Cry where you get guns and you run through. But it's sort of like a government is, the bad villains here. And there's one man who's chosen because of the circumstances to get revenge on all these people and runs through them all. That's pretty much what it is. And that's what Far Cry is. So I really got Far Cry vibes throughout this whole entire film. But what I was not ready for was the actual mythology and lore that they put into this movie, that Dev Patel wanted to explore. Instead of it just being this John Wick ripoff action thriller, he went in and actually gave it layers. There is so many layers to the mythology behind, the white monkey, behind the monkey man. What is he? Who is he? What does he represent? They dive into the lore of that. They expand it. It's very interesting. And I was captivated listening to that, diving into all that. They dive into Dev Patel's character. They actually gave him layers as well and showcased you the trauma that he experienced in his childhood and why he wants this revenge and why is he doing this. And along the way, as you go through the journey, you start to, discover all that stuff and you really get connected with the character. I really like that. And what I also really liked is they didn't just have him come in and just wipe the floor with everyone the very first time. No, he goes and struggles and loses and then has to come back stronger, it's almost as if those sort of shows and stuff where you go, our main hero and MC goes and fights, loses, and then has to rediscover everything and discover more about himself and what he needs to get over that line. It's almost like a reawakening and rebirth. That's what Dev Patel's character goes on. And it was captivating, man. Captivating. I was just like, this is a character that I want to see more of. I really do. So I love that. I love the world building that they did in here as well. What Dev Patel was able to do was fantastic. The action was great. Now what they did is, so basically the first 2 acts is all build up. Like, there is action sequences in there, but it's all about this discovery journey with the character. Then you get into the final act and they're like, okay, you've come from this journey here. Now you're going to see him. Once he becomes the Monkey Man, now you're going to see what he is capable of and what goes on. And it's just an epic action sequence throughout the whole entire thing in that final act. But what made this was just a touch of class here. What made these action sequences so good is the emotional weight behind them. I love action sequences. Don't get me wrong. I love movies where there's just fights and everything like that. but the best fights are the narrative driven ones. And what Dev Patel and that did in this movie is, when there's an important fight with a person that you meet in here that he has beef with, when they're fighting, there's not this hardcore music going on like do 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 like we're used to, or stuff like that when you get into these fights, like this epic music. It's almost as if there is no music. There's a little bit there, but it's not overpowering, and you feel every punch. You feel the emotion through every single punch. And for me, that just elevated that sequence to a higher level, because not only is it just a great action sequence, but there's narrative behind it. There's emotion behind it. There's weight behind it. So when you're sitting there watching it, you're so fully immersed in it, not just, physically, but emotionally as well. That was such a great thing. And it doesn't happen in just one fight. There's multiple fights where this happens. And I thought that was a great choice to do that. Now, the score is great. Don't get me wrong. There is some scenes where this music, there's like a screamo music. Perfect for that scene. Really worked really well. And that was like the hype action sequence where you're like, yes, let's go. So that was great. The chase sequence in here, there's a car chasing sequence in here. That was great. Dev Patel, obviously, fantastic in this movie. He is so good in this movie. I love his portrayal of this character. That was all great. I love the other characters as well. The villains, they could have maybe been explored a bit more, but they were enough. Now, if I had to give a criticism to this movie, it would be the use of shaky cam. I'm not a huge fan of shaky cam, and there's quite a bit of shaky cam in here with some of the action sequences. I'm not a huge fan. Like, I feel like we're at the point where we can get past shaky cam. So there is some of that in here. At some times it kind of makes it hard to follow what's going on, especially with the choice of changing from, look, we're watching them fight, to the POV point. Like, I get what they're trying to do, but with the whole shaky cam and that, it starts to become like a bit of a blur as you're watching it. So there is some instances throughout the film like that where I'd be like, that's a bit, just wish that wasn't there. There's another thing that I actually did like is the use of this character that has drums. Now, the way that he uses the drums to tell stories almost. And now I thought that was a very unique way to do it. And the way that they incorporate that into the training was fantastic. Like, I never thought you could do that. And then here they are doing that. So there's a lot of uniqueness to this film. Like, this isn't just a John Wick ripoff. It's not. There's a lot of emotional heart. There's great action. There's great performances. The score is fantastic. The cinematography is fantastic. Dude, this is one of the best movies of the year so far. It really is. And thank you, Jordan Peele, for pushing this. And thank you, Dev Patel, for coming out with this story and with this, vision of yours and executing it. Like, this is... I can't wait to watch this again. I really can't. It's bloody, it's gory as well, man. I'm telling you that now. Some of the kills are freaking awesome, man. So yeah, I really enjoyed Monkey Man. Let me know what you guys thought. Did you guys enjoy it? Smash your comments down in the section below. Smash that like button. Click subscribe. And I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.